Alright guys, happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is well. I hope you've had a great day, whatever you have been up to. We've had a great day on the charts today, and this is your daily recap. So as we always do, we're going to go over how we project the day is going to pan out, and then we're going to analyse how it finished. So we're going to talk about what potential trades we are going to get, what we're looking for price to do, and we're going to see how we got on, and today was a good day, but I think today is a lesson for the mentors in the community especially, is that we want everyone to focus on their emotion, okay? Because when people lose trades, they get really upset, they start thinking, overthinking, and that can then lead to over trading. And that is what I want you guys to get out of the habit of doing. Stop being emotion to the trade, okay? Get your emotions in order. This is about your discipline, this is about your mindset, this is about your personal growth. It is 80% of the trading journey. The skill that we do on the computer is 10-20%, 10% for execution, 20% is the actual skill required. But you have to be aware of what is going on inside your brain. You have to be emotionless to the result, especially as some of you guys are looking to do funded challenges and things like that, because it's going to take a lot out of you mentally and psychologically as well. So just bear that in mind. And on the live call, we did snipe out some areas that we wanted price to go into. Price did go into those areas, and price action has been really clean today, which is actually really good, because looking at last week, we had a really crap week. It wasn't volatile, we were inside an ugly range, and it looks like now we're about to try and break out of that to the upside a little bit. But anyway, without further ado guys, let's go into it. I hope you enjoy the recap. Any questions, please comment below.
See this liquidity at 230 being taken, because that's where the money is at the moment. There are a lot of traders going to be setting orders right here in this area here. Now obviously price could technically sell off here and targeting new lows, things like that. I'm personally going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what volatility does, or at least wait for distribution on a 1 minute time frame. But for this to happen, I would need to see a much clearer liquidity grab. I want to see an aggressive move down to then take price a little bit lower. Likewise on NAS, we could come a little bit higher. We could do with taking out this internal liquidity here, and on the 1 minute time frame, as you can see, this is making highs and lows just like that. So we've not made a new high, but that there might mean that we're going to do that in New York. So we'll wait and see what New York session does. We have got 11 minutes. So it's really just a case of, making sure we're everywhere we want to be with the indices. Looking at Dow as well, really strong. Taking liquidity here. This entire order block, we are inside. So I would anticipate distribution in here on a smaller time frame. We have got distribution. The 1 hour time frame did break, did distribute. So the perfect thing here would be to wait for something happening now. So just marking up this area here. Maybe something happens in this order block here for the New York session. So we've got 10 minutes to wait now until the candle, till the volatility kicks in. Let's look at news again just to make sure. So obviously USD news, we've had the volatility kick in. We've got a little bit more coming at 3 o'clock. It's only yellow folder news though, but that could, just because it's at 2 o'clock doesn't mean that the volatility stopped at 2 o'clock. This here, the time frame and things like that, is when you expect the big push. But that doesn't mean that at the New York Open and things like that, we're not going to get a load more volatility, because the market news is just an excuse for the markets to move. You hear a lot of analysis about people saying things like, what happens if it's a certain type? If it's FOMC, does it mean it's going to be negative? Does it mean it's going to be positive? It doesn't matter, because our bias is to just go by structure. That's why it's important not to marry a bias. Okay, we were looking at buys earlier, but now we're looking at sells, and this happens all the time. So this is why, if we're going to play with the smaller time frames, and by smaller time frames I mean the 1 hour and down, then sometimes we're going to be buying. This is here yesterday or Friday, you're seeing all this price action coming up, and now you're looking to sell. You could have been in the buys today, even coming up to here as well, if you were scalping the price all the way down, and now suddenly you're selling. So that's why it's important just to really go by structure. And if you get taken out, you get taken out. We will get our money back with the markets. We had a loss on euro, but we ended up having a win on S&P, NAS, whichever one you took over here somewhere, because we play with structure. We look at what structure's doing. But yeah, looking at the daily here, I do fancy price to come a little bit lower. I would like to see the reaction here. Looking at what Euro's doing, we have closed above, so that might mean, again, we might need to adjust our bias. Well, they're saying that, we've still got 30 or 38 minutes till the candle closes. So with EU, if you're on EU, I'd definitely be looking to wait and see what happens here. If we respect this level right here, then sales are still on. But at the moment, as you can see, all of these retail traders are being taken out. So, the people that are going to be setting orders, they're going to be losing in the markets. And as you can see right now, this second, if we get this distribution here, which is actually playing out, if that candle stays and gets bigger, then potentially, that could be something really, really positive as well. But, it comes through having to wait and be a little bit patient. We are kind of, I'd definitely look at this 3-minute area here, because that there looks really nice. 5-minute structure. If you ever struggle with structure and things like that, there's a couple of things you can do. On the indicators here, you've got these charts. If you go onto the line chart, you can see it really, really clearly. So there you can see high, low, new high. We can see that we're breaking structure here. That is why, because people often say to me, why don't you count the wicks as a break of structure? Because on this line chart, it doesn't actually count the wicks, it only counts the body. So if I just draw a line to where the body here closes, and then I go onto the line chart, you can see the wicks aren't included in that. So if you're looking at structure and you use these lines here, and we notice that this is a high, this is a low, we're just about, we've not actually closed above, or we could have just closed above. There might be a wick here that actually pushes above, but that doesn't mean we're not going to sell off again, which is why we could still look for potential sells on the 1 hour, because all we've done is traveled above, but we're still respecting this candle. So if we respect this candle, we could still sell off. Obviously, if the body goes higher, that means that the orders closed above here. That is the reason I don't include wicks for confirmed break of structures. What I do like the wicks for is to measure the entire trading range. So I would go from the top of this wick here to this wick here to measure that trading range. I can see that we've hit the 88.6% and above, which is a really, really good area to sell within our premium level. But the reason this might press higher is because the size of this candle. There's a lot of volume in here right now. Something I'm going to introduce you guys to in the very near future on the course especially is going to be footprint trading. And this is a whole new ball game, because you can actually see the orders inside of this chart here. And I'm going to show you all about how to do that. So break of structure should break the body or the wick. It should break the body. Okay, so a break of structure is, so we've got prices coming lower here. So we've got this low, this high, prices close lower. That there is your break. If price now closes above that body, so if this body here closes up here somewhere above there, that's a break of structure. The wick at the moment, closing above here, doesn't count. This wick here obviously is just where price moved and finished as well. So always finish the body, and the close of the candles is so important. Does that make sense, guys? If you have any questions on that, please let me know. I mean, I'm happy on the next mentorship session. Maybe we'll go over FU candles, imbalance, IC candles, stuff like that, and just really, really hammer in on these areas. I'm happy to do that if you guys need it. So we've got 4 minutes until the open. It's going to be really interesting what happens here on EU. I don't know if the 3-minute areas happen. So obviously we haven't got that break yet. And this is where patience comes into it, because this here could have been price traveling a little bit lower. So this would tell me that, we're looking to just press higher. This is why we wait for a redistribution, guys, because we haven't got evidence that price is going to move. Looking at this area here, if you sold here, you're going to be really kind of nervous right now with your stop loss above here. So if you just press the sell button in areas where you should, then it's, it's a bit of a worry. Looking at what the, let's see what New York's done here. So, we looked at this as a target. So, let's see what happens with this. Yeah, look at the higher time frames. This imbalance here sticks out to me because this imbalance is part of this order block. So I'll go over order blocks in the next mentorship session as well. The only thing you have to really know about order blocks right now is that an order block is a portion of candles. So this entire move, which was kind of together, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. That's the up move before price change direction. That is the entire move. So, that move there can be an area we can get distribution. And I'm looking inside this imbalance here on the 1 hour time frame, because this here is like your breaker. So this is the open of the up move, and then price is obviously coming down. That there is an institutional / FU candle that took out that high there, but it's not the most attractive looking because the liquidity was taken out here by this entire up move. So we're going to use the order block in that situation there. And we have taken out these highs now. So we marked out these highs. We've now taken them. So I am looking for price to come into this imbalance and potentially sell off. If we do disrespect this level, I'm not going to discount the possibility of price buying as well. So, definitely going to keep a close eye on that. Looking at seeing what NAS is doing. Again, we've taken out that liquidity. So this is the beautiful thing, guys, about internal liquidity. You can see exactly what's happening, and we're in our point of interest now. The only thing I don't like is this is a very strong candle to the upside. So potentially we're going to come for these highs right here as well, which would obviously invalidate the hope of sales. So it'd be quite interesting to see what happens. Maybe we're going to, come up to the second imbalance and then sell off. But again, I do like this imbalance. But yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Again, we've smashed through our liquidity. We've smashed through the highs here. It's just going to be really interesting to see how the candles start closing now.
So, looking at what price did and how we actually finished, if I just go on to the 1 hour, you can see our target, which was noted, got filled, and we did take a trade opportunity into that area. And then now what price is currently doing, it looks like it came back to mitigate into that area, and it's still pushing higher. So I would anticipate the next area being around here somewhere, maybe to fill in this imbalance here. But all in all, if we go to a lower time frame, it looks really, really good. Our entry was in and around here somewhere. It was on a 1 minute time frame, and we got in on this accumulation play here. We let it sweep the low, and then we pressed higher, and we got in here and we took price to new highs. And so this is Nasdaq, and this is the entry that we actually had straight off that order block there. Stop was below this low here. It was quite aggressive, but we ended up coming out. I came out just at the top of this imbalance, just over a 4-to-1. So yeah, pretty nice entry there. And obviously, as you can see, price hit this here represents the 1 hour imbalance. So price hit that 1 hour imbalance, obviously tapped a little bit higher and then sold off again. But as we can see now, we are making moves to the upside again. We're back in and around that imbalance. So, we're approaching a bit of a funny time now. It's coming into the the Asian session. So this is when price tends to get a bit choppy. So I'm certainly going to be, spending the evening with family and things like that, waiting for tomorrow's London session to see what we potentially get. As of now, how do I get to the daily? We go to the 12 hour, we can have a look, see what price is doing. You can see there what's kind of happening. This imbalance is definitely a target for me overall. We did sweep this high, which made me think earlier in the day we could potentially get some sales. But, we got what we came for, and that's obviously the important thing. The only other opportunity we noticed earlier was on Euro USD, and that there provided us with some quite decent opportunities. I'm just trying to find 1 hour. So what I wanted EU to do here, as you can see, I wanted EU to take this high, and we didn't do that. That there represents Monday's high, but we never got to that stage. So I was looking for price to take that high and then start breaking its way down. Now it didn't do that, and what's happened instead from what I can kind of see, it's just ranging. There's nothing really going on. We did attempt a little sell in here. I know a lot of people in the mentorship community attempted a sell from the New York session call today. Well, that was possibly down here, but we didn't really get the entry. There was some really nice accumulation down here, which could have been a really nice entry, but you would have been stopped out eventually, unless you obviously went to break even. But looking at what prices, up to now, realistically, I just wouldn't do anything until that Monday high is taken. I really do believe, again, as the same with the indices, we're getting into some choppy price action now, and it's just not enjoyable. But guys, that there pretty much sums up where we were with the day. We finished the day, so a decent trade on NAS, decent trade on S&P. We had one small loss on Euro, but we ended up on a green day, so a winning day for everyone, and all in all, profits, lesson learned, and things like that. The only thing I said I'd like everyone to kind of work on is their emotion when it comes to trading, because a lot of people may lose a trade and then worry about over trading, or even worse, they lose a trade and then don't want to trade again. They start giving up and things like that. So it's very important to be emotionless to your result. When you take an entry, it's very important that you are investing into that entry. Okay, you're investing into that entry. What I mean by that is, if you're going to take a price to a certain direction and you lose the trade, that's what you invest, as if you invested in materials in a certain business that you're running. But guys, that's all we're going to talk about today, and we'll be back again tomorrow's live.